Hi everyone, welcome. We're here to talk about the B-Hyve Smart Irrigation Timer and how to set up and program it to run your irrigation with smart technology. We call these smart irrigation timers not only because they have access to your smartphone, but they have access to weather data available from the internet that allows them to make adjustments to your programming to water your plants correctly based on soil type, plant type, irrigation, those kinds of things, rather than your simple Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, on and off, same thing every day until the end of time. So to get started, we're gonna download the app on our smartphone. I've already downloaded the app on my phone to make this process go a little faster, but here it is, B-Hyve. It's gonna start by asking you to plug in your timer and discover it. As the timer wakes up, it's gonna show a little Bluetooth signal on here that'll start flashing, and that'll tell you it's looking to connect to your phone. On the app, it says this is a new device. We're going to click that button. We see in the upper right-hand corner the timer that we have, so we're gonna click that. My device is powered on, and it found it. This matches my device. Now that the device has been found and connected to the app, we'll have to connect to the Wi-Fi. Now it'll ask you to set the location of the timer. An easy way is to use current location. It'll locate you via GPS, or you can enter the address that this is located. And if you like, you can give the timer a new name and hit the green check mark, and we'll start programming. Currently, we only have 4 stations hooked up to this timer, so we're going to click 1, 2, 3, and 4. The timer will want you to test to make sure those stations are connected correctly. So you run test. The sprinklers will come on within seconds if they're working. Name that station something you can remember. It makes it easier for programming later. It'll move on to the next station. Run a test to make sure it works correctly. On to station 3, station 4. Looks like everything's working correctly. Now it's time to set up the smart functions. We're gonna want the front grass to run smart. We'll start with soil type. We have clay loam. If you don't know what kind of soil you have, you can Google how to do a soil test, or you can take a sample to a local irrigation provider. They can tell you what type of soil you have, how much organic matter, and how much water it will hold. Then we hit next in the upper right-hand corner. It's gonna ask us what kind of turf. If you don't know what kind of grass you have, they have a segment down here where you can click and it'll help you determine what kind of grass you're working with. What kind of sprinklers are we using? In this case, we're using pop-up spray sprinklers, so we will click spray, and you'll notice that it has a preset application rate. The application rate is how quickly your sprinklers are adding water to your landscape. We're gonna look at the sun exposure. This is a full sun location, so we'll say mostly sunny, and hit next. The next question it's asking is relative to how much rainfall this area will receive. If you have an area that is under the eaves or in a courtyard where the rain can't fall and add water, you can select one of the none of the rain, some of the rain functions, but since this is an exposed grass area, we're going to pick most of the rain. It will get 100% of the rainfall, and we will click next. Now it's asking about the slope of the yard. This yard has a little bit of a slope, so we're going to click on a slope. This will help break up the irrigation run times so you get less runoff. At this point, we can count how many sprinklers are running on the system. This is mostly for determining how much water you're going to be using. You can run another test like you did before, but I already counted them. There are 5, and we'll hit done. Now you see all of those boxes have been checked in green. There is one box that hasn't been checked, and that's if you want to do an irrigation audit to figure out exactly how much water your sprinklers are using. This will walk you through it. And this zone is set up. Click the back arrow in the upper left-hand corner, and we can start working on the other stations. Our next station is drip. We select our soil type, the type of plant material. In this case, we have shrubs and perennials. What kind of irrigation? We have drip irrigation, sun exposure. Now our drip station is set up. I'm gonna jump through and finish up these other stations so we can go on to the programming. Now it's gonna ask if you have any watering restrictions. At this point, you can pick which days of the week and what times you're allowed to water. Easily Click on one, turn the dial to show when you're allowed to water. If you want to review what you've programmed, you can click Zones, and each of your stations will show up there. If you click one of the large circles, all of the information that you put in there in the Smart Details is available by clicking on Smart Details. It's telling us that smart watering is currently turned on. This will allow the timer to decide when your landscape needs to be watered based on weather, and the next time that's watering is projected here on the next watering line. If you want to conduct an irrigation check to make sure you don't have any broken heads or drip that gophers have chewed on, you can click Water Manually and use your phone as a remote control. Tell it how long you want it to run and hit play. If you want to review the projected watering for your landscape, you can click the calendar and it will show you over the next few days when it plans to be watering. If you remember earlier, we didn't set up a smart program for the garden. That's because I just planted some new plants and I want to set up an old style program to get them established. To do that, we click Programs next to the Home button. Choose a program. I'm going to use A. I'm going to call it the garden. Next, we'll add a start time. Hit the blue plus and tell it what time you like it to start. We're going to add the garden for 10 minutes. Click the green check mark. We're going to select the days of the week that we want it to water. Now we click Save, and the program's ready to go. As an alternative to using the Smart app for programming the garden, which is not running a smart program, you can use the faceplate on the timer to run a standard old style program. Simply use the dial here to select between the menu options. We're going to use start time. This is program A. If you like to change the program that you're using, use this button marked program A, B, C, or D to select which program you like to use. Our first start time, we're going to click. Now it says 5 a.m. That works for me. I'm going to click it again. Don't need to change the minutes. Now we want to adjust the run time. Click the back button, which takes us back to the ability to select on the menu. Rotate the dial to runtime, press it to select. Station 4 is the garden, so we turn the dial until it reads 4. Click to select it, and we're going to give it 10 minutes. Rotate the dial for 10 minutes, select, and we're done. We're going to hit the back button to get back to the menu, rotate to how often. Now at the bottom you'll see Sunday is flashing. We're going to click Sunday. Now it's highlighted. Rotate the dial to Wednesday. Click. Rotate the dial to Friday and select it as well. Now that we've selected those, we're going to hit back. Rotate the dial to budget. It is currently set for 100%, but because we're thinking about water conservation, we're gonna dial it back just a little to 90. And that's the end of our tutorial on how to set up the B-Hyve irrigation timer. Thank you for watching.